Good morning, Poppers. It is your humble staff writer here, Grant DeArmit, talking to you about what is streaming in February of 2025. I'm going to be going over with you all of the most new, original, exciting programs coming to your favorite streaming services. I'm going to be telling you where you can watch them, and of course, I'm going to be telling you what their release dates are. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into it. Let's begin with Amazon Prime, which this month sees the return of popular espionage thriller Reacher. Based on the Jack Reacher novels by Lee Child, the action series features Alan Ritchson reprise the titular role as Amazon's favorite super spy, infiltrating a drug kingpin's organization, all the while asking the eternal question, how many muscles can you put on a body before it explodes? Reacher Season 3 comes to Amazon Prime Video February 20th. And speaking of exploding human bodies, Prime is also welcoming us back this month to the universe of Invincible. Season 3 of the mega-hit animated comic book adaptation finds main character Mark Grayson more embedded in the increasingly expanding world of superheroes as he grows increasingly distrustful of his government, a plot with which you and I simply can not relate. Invincible Season 3 comes to Amazon Prime Video February 6th. Moving along to Netflix, whose most popular streaming series this month will almost certainly be Cobra Kai Season 6 Part 3. After waiting 2 years for the final season, Karate Kid fans had to wait even longer to see their favorite sports series wrap up, as the 6th season was broken into 3 parts. It's a bittersweet moment for sure, but don't think of it as your favorite show waning. Think of it as the continuing Karate Kid franchise waxing. Waxing on. That was the best waxing joke that I could come up with. Cobra Kai Season 6 Part 3 comes out February 13th. February is, of course, Valentine's Day month, and if you're in the mood for romance and the startling emotional toll it takes on reality show contestants, what better way to spend love's favorite holiday than with Love is Blind? Yes, the popular dating show is debuting its 8th season starting this Valentine's Day, providing juicy drama for you and your soulmate, or if you're single, an incredible lesson in what not to do. Love is Blind Season 8 debuts February 14th. Hulu is bringing back the Kardashians for the latest installment in a media saga technically owing to the 1995 acquittal of O.J. Simpson. This 6th season is, of course, bringing back Kourtney, Kim, Khloe, Kendall, Kylie, and Kris. I practiced that for 3 days. And will air a new episode every Thursday. The Kardashians, Season 6, airs February 6th on Hulu. While we're on the subject of splendor and scandal, let's go ahead and move on to Max, which will be returning to one of its steamiest and most sinister resort dramas this month. But hold on a second. Before we get there, actually, there's not one, but 2 notable movies that are going to be coming to Max this February. First is the non-linear A24 romantic drama We Live in Time, starring Florence Pugh and Andrew Garfield, which will stream on February 8th. Then, the latest return to Middle-earth in the Tolkien-inspired anime The Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim, also gallops onto your screen sometime in February, although we don't actually know what the release date is just yet. Go to our website. We'll tell you then, as soon as we know, I promise. Okay, now that we've covered those, let's talk about The White Lotus. The White Lotus is the show that reminded everyone of just what a treasure Jennifer Coolidge is, and it's back for a Season 3, which promises to be just as tropical and tempestuous as the first 2 seasons, centering around a girls' trip gone wrong and featuring new cast members such as Leslie Bibb and Carrie Coon, plus Sex Education's Amy Lou Wood, and plenty of others. The White Lotus Season 3 begins streaming February 16th. Let's talk about some anime. Do you want to talk about some anime? Let's talk about some anime. Coming to Crunchyroll later this month is Loner Life in Another World, based on the light novel series of the same name. Loner Life in Another World focuses on Haruka, a high school student who is summoned by otherworldly gods to defend an alternate reality, to which he simply says, "No thanks," while he still retains the powers offered by those gods. Can we just talk for a second about how phenomenal anime names are? Like, if this show was made in the US, it would be called something like Lone Teen, or like Solitary, or like Teen Wolf. Loner Life in Another World comes to Crunchyroll February 12th. I mentioned the romance thing earlier, but so far we actually haven't touched on a ton of romance. Fortunately, what's coming from Apple TV Plus revolves around a struggling relationship. And I mean, they're really struggling. The movie The Gorge is about two badass government operatives, played by Anya Taylor-Joy and Miles Teller respectively, who are in charge of guarding an extra-dimensional portal, through which a host of deadly monsters threatens to flood. Naturally, the pair fall in love because, honestly, what's hotter than that? Literally, I think there's a pretty high chance of radiation burns. The Gorge comes to Apple TV February 14th. And last but not least, let's talk about Paramount Plus, which will be airing the second season of Yellowstone prequel/spinoff 1923. Both Helen Mirren and Harrison Ford are returning to the roles of Kara and Jacob Dutton, respectively, further exploring the ranch family's turbulent history and positing the question, how much money does Paramount have? Either of those actors could blink into a camera and net $8 million, $10 million? I know it's a network, but that seems insane. 1923, Season 2 airs February 23rd. And keeping it romantic, let's close this list by talking about Yellow Jackets, the show that tackles the two leading turnoffs in modern dating culture. That is, of course, cannibalism and soccer. The third season of Showtime's petrifying paranormal parable sees the present-day characters still reeling from that shocking death in Season 2, and their past selves delving further into the woods and the mysterious entity that resides there. And okay, if you're one of the people watching Yellow Jackets that says there's nothing paranormal going on and it's just like all in their heads, that doesn't make any sense to me. You are incorrect. You can cut that out. Yellow Jackets returns for Season 3, February 14th. That's all we've got for today, but obviously it is not even close to the full list of everything streaming in February of 2025. For a much more comprehensive list, go ahead and click the link right below this video. It'll take you to our website. For now, my name is Grant Armit, speaking for Popverse, and wishing you a very pleasant stream.